problems of life. One has to approach a spiritual master who is well versed. And who is a spiritual master? So it is explained, one who know, yei Krishna Tattvavetta, say Guru Haya. And so then Swami Srila Prabhupada gives another reference from other Vedic literature to confirm this. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, he says the conclusion, and then Swami Srila Prabhupada gives another reference. Satkarma nipano vipro, Satkarma nipano vipro, mantra tantra visharada, avaishnavo, guru nasyat, Vaishnava swapacha guru. Satkarmana nipano vipro, a vipra, a scholarly brahmana who is expert, nipuna. Satkarma, in all subjects of Vedic knowledge, in all karma kanda, in performing various rituals. Satkarma nipano vipro, mantra tantra visharada, and is expert in all mantra and tantra. He knows everything very well. Visharadaha. But if he is a Vaishnava, if he is not a devotee of the Supreme Lord, a scholarly Brahmana, though he is a Brahmana, and is scholarly, very scholarly, Brahmajanati, he has the knowledge. Brahmajanati ti Brahmana. So, scholarly Brahmana, expert in all subjects of Vedic knowledge, is unfit to become a spiritual master. But even a Brahmana who is well versed in all the mantra, tantra, visharada, in all the Vedic knowledge, who is expert in all subjects of Vedic knowledge, is unfit to become a spiritual master. He also cannot become spiritual master unless without being a Vaishnava or expert in the science of Krishna consciousness. A Vaishnava Guru Nashayat, Vaishnava Swapacha Guru. Very, very exalted statement. A Vaishnava Guru Nashayat. If one is not a devotee of the Supreme Lord, he cannot become a spiritual master. Spiritual master, or the master of the spirit, a master, real master, master of the, not material master, Adhyatmik Guru. So one can become a spiritual master only if he is an expert in the science of Krishna consciousness, or one who is expert in the science of God consciousness. Krishna is the Supreme God himself. So, without being a Vaishnava, and then the next statement, Vaishnavaha Swapacha Guru. A Vaishnava Guru Nasyad, Vaishnavaha Swapacha Guru. But a person born in a lower family of a lower caste, Swapachaha means dog eaters, very, very low born, Chandal, Yavana Chandal. So there are so many people who are even lower than Shudras, very, very low born. But even if one has taken birth in such a family, like Prahlad Maharaj, he took birth in the family of Asuras, Hiranyakashipu. But still he is a spiritual master because he is expert in the science of God. So, a person born in the family of a lower caste can become a spiritual master. He can become a guru, a spiritual master, if he is a Vaishnava or Krishna conscious. If a person himself is God conscious or Krishna conscious and is devoted, very, very important point, Vaishnava, one who is devoted to the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Vaishnava, one who is devoted to the Supreme Lord. On the other hand, a person who is well versed in all the subjects of the Vedic knowledge, Satkarma, Nipuno, Vipro, Mantra Tantra Visharada, he cannot become a spiritual master. But a person who is a Vaishnava, who is a devotee of the Supreme Lord or Krishna conscious, he can become a spiritual master, and he is capable to solve the problems of life. He is capable to guide one how to solve the problems of life, how to solve perplexities, all the perplexities, Adi Devik, Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik, and Janam Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. If one is expert in the science of Krishna, Krishna consciousness, or if one fully knows and is devoted, then even if he is born in the lower caste or low family, very low born, Swapacho, dog eater family, then also he can become a spiritual master and he is capable to solve. So that is the purport of this verse. Swami Srila Prabhupada is explaining that Swami Srila Prabhupada says, if economic development, wonderful point, if economic development and material comforts could drive away one's lamentation for family, social, national or international inabilities, then Arjuna would not have said that even an unrivaled kingdom on the earth or supremacy like that of the demigods in the heavenly planets would not be able to drive away his lamentation. So he is in lamentation. So sometimes we see, children, they are satisfied. If a small child who is not in knowledge and is always busy in frivolous activities, so sometimes if child is in distress, crying, then parents, they give them some good toy or sweets and candies, and they are satisfied. But Arjunji is in knowledge. He is grown up and he is in knowledge and is very much advanced in all material qualifications, and he will be able, and by executing his duty, he will get kingdom. But he is thinking, even if I get kingdom, an unrivaled kingdom without any enemies and with sovereignty, Riddham Rajyam Suranam, Riddham Samriddha, prosperity, with prosperity and opulence, sovereignty, Rajyam Suranam apicha Adhipatyam, sovereignty. So even if one gets supremacy, a kingdom like that, Arjunji is thinking, even if I get a kingdom like that, I will be unhappy. So Swami Srila Prabhupada is saying, if these things can drive away one's lamentation, everyone's lamentation for family, social, national or international inabilities, then Arjunji would not have said that. So, very wonderful points. And he sought therefore refuge in Krishna consciousness. Therefore Arjunji, what he did, and everyone should learn by the example of Arjunji, that he sought therefore refuge in Krishna consciousness. He understood that nothing can solve his problem, and he tried to take complete shelter in Krishna consciousness, and that is the right path for peace and harmony. Swami Srila Prabhupada is writing, that is the right path for peace and harmony. Economic development or supremacy over the world can be finished at any moment by the cataclysm of the material nature. We all saw one earthquake, or whatever, a world war, and all economic development and supremacy over the world can be finished at any moment. So even elevation to higher planetary situation, as men are now seeking. So Swami Srila Prabhupada takes the example of people trying to go to other planets, and scientists and all, they are always busy. And in the previous ages also, it was said that Ravana wanted to construct a staircase which can take everyone of his kingdom to heaven for enjoyment, for enjoying heavenly opulences, heavenly sense gratification and enjoyment. So Ramarji, so in the previous ages also people have tried, and various people they engage from Vedic literatures they understand that by performing various pious activities one can get one can get a place in heavenly planets and higher lokas, and one can enjoy life there, a very long span of life, and lot of riches and opulence and sense gratification. So there are many people who aspire to go to Swarglokas and other higher planetary situations, as Swami Srila Prabhupada Bhatt, Srimad Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic literatures they confirm this, that Shine Punne Martalokam Vishanti, but one has to come back again. One has to fall down again from the peak of happiness to the lowest status of life. Many politicians, and Swami Srila Prabhupada gave example that many politicians of the world have fallen down in that way. Such fall downs only constitute more causes for lamentation. So we have seen that many opulent people, they fell down. Politicians and big people, they fell down from their position, and from the peak of happiness they fell down to the lowest status of life, unhappiness. And even after achieving so many things, there are so many people in this world who have achieved so many things, so much riches, so much opulence, but still they are very much depressed and unhappy. So even if one goes, Swami Srila Prabhupada is saying, even if one goes to higher planetary systems or higher planetary situations, then also one has to come back, fall down after once all pious credits or pious activities are finished. And here also in this world we see people, they accumulate money and they go for foreign trips and all, but as soon as their money is all over, they have to come back again and again strive to accumulate wealth, and then again. So one may continue like that, but if one want to solve the problems of life permanently, if one want a definite solution, like Arjunji, how he is seeking, then one has to approach a spiritual master. So Swami Srila Prabhupada, therefore the last lines, Swami Srila Prabhupada write, therefore if you want to curb lamentation for good, if you want to curb completely, if you want to finish lamentation, then we have to take shelter of Krishna, as Arjunji is seeking to do so. Then if we want to curb lamentation for good, then we have to take shelter of Krishna, as Arjuna is seeking to do so. So Arjuna asked Krishna to solve his problems definitely, and that is the way of Krishna consciousness. So Arjunji asked Krishna to solve his problem definitely, and that is the way of Krishna consciousness. And Swami Srila Prabhupada here also, he writes, they are seeking peace in different ways, but they can achieve real happiness only if they consult Krishna or Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which constitute the signs of Krishna, or a bona fide representative of Krishna, the man in Krishna consciousness. So one has to approach Adi Guru, real spiritual master, Lord Sri Krishna. And Lord Sri Krishna is the original spiritual master. In the Vedic science, Tene Brahma Hridayadya Kavai. Srimad Bhagavatam confirms this. He spoke from the region of the heart, the spiritual knowledge, the knowledge of the spiritual science to Brahmaji. Tene Brahma Hridayadya Kavai, to the firstborn person. And we also saw in Srimad Bhagavatam that Vyasadeva, Srila Vyasadeva, was not satisfied even after compiling all the Vedic literatures. All mantra, tantra for the material upliftment of the human society. Even Vyasadevji, he himself was not satisfied. And then he was instructed, Srila Vyasadevji was instructed by his spiritual master, Narad Muni, to glorify, to do devotional service to the Supreme Being, to glorify the activities and pastimes of the Supreme Lord with his devotees. And then on the request, on the instruction of Narad Muni, Srila Vyasadeva, he compiled Srimad Bhagavatam, which gave him satisfaction, which gave him complete satisfaction after writing all the Vedic literature. And that's what here it is said, Sat Karmano Nepano Vipura, Mantra Tantra Visharada. He cannot become a spiritual master. So, if one wants to solve the real problems of the life, then one has to approach, one has to consult Krishna or the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, because both Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, they are the signs of Lord Sri Krishna, which constitute the signs of Krishna. Swami Srila Prabhupada is writing, which constitute the signs of Krishna, or the bona fide representative of Krishna, or a person who is well versed in the science of Krishna consciousness. The man in Krishna consciousness, he can tell one how to solve the problems of all life, how to solve all the problems, how to make a definite solution. So, wonderful verse and wonderful purport. So Arjunji, in the next verse, Sanjayji will speak, Eva Muktva Rishikesham Guna Kesha Parantapaha Nayosyam iti Govindam Uktva Tushnim Babuva. So we have discussed for 50 minutes. So I think further verses we will take in our next session. So we should also understand that if we really want to make a solution to all the problems of our life, if we want to make a permanent solution, then we should try to follow the instructions of a Swami Srila Prabhupada, man he is always present through his books, and he said, I will never die, and I will always be present through my books, and you will utilize. So we should try to follow Swami Srila Prabhupada, and of course Lord Sri Krishna, as per his instructions. We will go through all those instructions, and we should try and we should develop that kind of faith in Krishna consciousness, as Arjunji took refuge in Krishna consciousness. So we should also develop that kind of faith in Krishna consciousness, that Krishna consciousness can solve all our problems of life. As Arjunji is seeking refuge in Krishna consciousness when he is fully perplexed and depressed and is finding no means to drive away his grief, nahi prapashyami mamapnu udyat yashokam uchchoshanam indriyanam. So we should also, like Arjunji, try to take refuge in Lord Sri Krishna, or in his instructions, and Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and in the instructions of Swami Srila Prabhupada, teachings and instructions of Srila Prabhupada, with faith. And for sure, those who have taken, they have realized, to the degree they have taken refuge, they have realized that they are becoming capable, or they are becoming free from the anxieties of life and are advancing towards an eternal life full of happiness and bliss and full knowledge, happiness and bliss. So with this I would like to stop here, and in our next session we will take a few more verses, and we'll try to understand from the purports of Swami Srila Prabhupada various concepts of Krishna consciousness. So with this I would like to stop here. Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Shrosheshma Swangi Sabhachanar Arvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ji Ki Jai Ho. All glories to Abhay Charnar Arvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Bhagavad Gita. All glories to Lord Chaitanya. All glories to Holy Name. And all glories to Vaishnavas. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.